During the summer of 2023, Calvin Brown and Relena Blunt gained notoriety for a series of violent crimes that unfolded over 2 days in San Diego, California. It all began on July 3rd, when 27-year-old Calvin shattered a car's windshield and carjacked the driver. 2 days later, while still on the run, Calvin and 20-year-old Relena shot a woman and her dog at the beach. Their rampage continued with a robbery of a smoke shop, where Calvin shot at all the employees before fleeing the scene in the stolen BMW. The pair's reckless driving seriously injured a 12-year-old girl from out of town. By the time the couple was arrested, they had committed carjackings, shootings, and robberies, leaving a trail of devastation. Calvin Brown was later sentenced to 59 years in prison. Relena Blunt was sentenced to 10 years. 23-year-old Magdalena Gallegos and her accomplice, 26-year-old Sergio Carrillo, orchestrated a dangerous scheme in the heart of downtown Los Angeles. Using social media to attract men, Magdalena would invite the men to her apartment, setting them up for a brutal robbery. Upon their arrival, Sergio Carrillo would creep out of his hiding spot in the closet, armed with the gun, and demand the men hand over their money and jewelry. During one robbery, in April 2024, the violence escalated when one of the victims fought back. Authorities later discovered that this wasn't an isolated incident, and that Magdalena and Sergio had used this same tactic to trap other victims in similar robberies. Police later indicated that there were most likely other victims who had been set up and robbed, but who were too fearful or ashamed to come forward. Antonio Bland and Abigail Lucky, aged 36 and 49, were a pair bound together by a life of crime. In early 2024, the duo embarked on a 2-week robbery spree that saw them hit 12 businesses across Los Angeles and Orange County. Their pattern was the same every time. Antonio, masked and hooded, would enter the business late at night, demanding cash. Abigail would act as the getaway driver. The couple continued committing crimes for days without stopping, until they took a break on February 6th to go to Las Vegas and get married. 2 days later, they were back at it, but their string of robberies eventually ended at a donut shop in Downey, California. The employee, who was fearing for his life, grabbed his own handgun and fired a warning shot at Antonio. Law enforcement quickly arrived, witnessing the robbery attempt. The couple was chased down, and after a short police pursuit, they were both arrested. It was Valentine's Day. 29-year-old Gabriela Tovar and 24-year-old Jesus Mendoza became partners in crime after a short-lived romance that quickly spiraled into a dangerous criminal spree. It all started in 2023, when Jesus was working as a security guard at a marijuana dispensary in Van Nuys, California, where Gabriela had also once worked, but was fired. After 1 month of dating, they planned and carried out their first robbery at the same dispensary. Over the next 6 weeks, the couple targeted 4 more marijuana dispensaries on back-to-back days. They specifically went after shops that were unlicensed and cash only, knowing that they were less likely to call the police. Gabriela and Jesus would force employees into back rooms at gunpoint, holding them there while they stole cash and cannabis. Their crime spree ended in June 2023 after a high-speed chase in which Jesus crashed. Gabriela was arrested 11 days later. Police detectives would later compare the couple to Romeo and Juliet. In early March 2019, Monica Lopez and Roy Pacheco, both 42, embarked on an explosive 4-day crime spree. They hit 6 businesses across Sacramento, California, robbing 13 people at gunpoint. Their approach to the robberies was unusually calm. Walking in like customers, Pacheco would slowly pull out a revolver, then demand the cash, while Monica stood by quietly. Their crime wave shocked the community, but didn't last long. When deputies pulled them over in the getaway car they had used during the robberies. Roy Pacheco was convicted on 13 counts of robbery and sentenced to 471 years in prison. Monica Lopez was found guilty of 8 counts and sentenced to 19 years. In August 2012, Darnell and Tania Washington became known for a violent criminal rampage that stretched across multiple states. It began in California, where Darnell, arrested for armed robbery, was being held at a prison in San Bernardino County. During a prison visit, he and his wife Tania planned a prison escape. As she distracted the guards, Darnell scaled a 15-foot fence and fled the facility. Their time on the run was marked by a series of serious crimes. Together, they robbed businesses, carjacked unsuspecting drivers, and shot a sheriff's deputy during a confrontation. Their crimes escalated in October of 2012, when they broke into the home of a retired schoolteacher in Northern California. The couple stabbed the woman to death and stole her car. The manhunt ended days later in Washington, when police spotted the couple in the stolen car. Facing serious charges, Tania agreed to testify against her husband in exchange for a plea deal. She pled guilty to manslaughter and was sentenced to 23 years in prison. Darnell was found guilty of murder and sentenced to death.